episode 1 of the DJ world. My name is DJ Roosta. We here with my boy DJ Mofire.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I loved your set, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Thank you.
I think your set was fire. No pun intended.
I'll take the pun. I'll take it, man.
But we here, the whole show's about DJs and where they came from. You always see a DJ in the club, in a wedding, a catering hall, a bar. But you ever figure out how they got to that position? We're gonna find out today. First guest, DJ Mofire.
Oh.
So how'd you get on the DJ, man? What year was it?
I gotta go all the way back. I'm gonna have to say it was probably like 2004.
All right.
Probably like around 2003 is when I started messing with it. But 04 was like the actual beginning.
What was the first tables?
So the first tables were Denon 5000.
That's the silver ones.
No. Those are the 3500s. I think I had like every Denon deck.
Okay.
With the exception of the last, like the SC ones. But the 5000, that was like the first rotary platter. All right. And it was belt driven. Like a Tech 12 was gonna have like an actual motor in it.
Yeah.
This one was like an actual belt and a pulley system, and it was good for what they had out at that time. It was either that or actual vinyl. But
that was saying because that's CDs back then, right?
Yeah,
that was like the beginning of CDs.
So that was they had like the dual CD players, and then they at that time they had like the first set of like CDJs that were out.
All right.
So I think I was watching like something on Channel 12 News, and it was like somebody was like showing off like these actual tables, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get them. I'm just gonna get them.
How much was that penny?
Oh man, it was my first set. It was probably like around like just under 2,000, for everything. Because I actually shout out to Pro Sound Stage and Lighting out in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went on their website. I used to get like magazines, and they had like bundle packages that you could put together. So I literally was just putting everything together. And it came out to like probably like around close to like 2,900.
Okay.
Called up, and I was wheeling and dealing on the phone, and I think I got it for like just under 2. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna throw in a pair of headphones." I don't think I have any of that equipment left now. I mean, like you're talking 19 years ago, but it was good because I never had anybody teach me how to DJ. I just literally,
So this is before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is before Serato, right? For the most part?
Yeah, it was before. Yeah. Serato was like 06, 07. More like 06.
We're talking about the SL1.
The SL1.
Okay, so this is
box.
before this. This is CDs and opening it up and making sure shit's not scratched and all that good.
Yeah, pretty much. I had CD cases. I would go to parties with like 3 or 4 CD cases.
Yeah.
I would have like 2 copies of each CD so I can kind of go back and forth, like especially like with reggae with the rhythms. Like you go back and forth. It was nice. But at that time it was easier than actually going out and buying vinyl and carrying crates around. So it was good. And when I started, it was just for fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't literally like, I want to make this like a lifetime career, or a move. I just wanted to do it as a hobby.
So how long did you do it for a hobby then? How many years?
I would say before I actually did my first, paying gig, I would say about a year. When I started, I would literally drive home from work. On the way home from work, I'm listening to DJs on the radio.
Yeah.
And I'm just listening to them mix songs. And I'm like, all right, he put this song, and then he mixed this song, then he mixed that song. And I would just go home and just practice it and try and make it sound almost identical. I'm like, well, if these guys are pros, let me see exactly how the basis of mixing is. I'm pretty sure they know it.
Mm.
And I picked it up. And then what would end up happening was, especially summertime, any one of my boys, oh, you having a party? Yo, let me do you a favor. I'm going to bring my DJ equipment.
Yeah.
I'm going to set up. You ain't even got to pay me. I'm going to be at the party no matter what. And I would just DJ.
Isn't that the best though? Like I know we all need to get paid, but there's something about just going like I'm just gonna rock out.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, at that time it wasn't like time consuming for me. Like I literally would just come home from work and I would just DJ for 2 or 3 hours sometimes, just in my parents' house in their den, and just DJ and literally just keep DJing and like literally just learning different techniques and blends and and like this is like I said, I had nobody like
So
showing me to do this and do that.
You had a well, I think every DJ has that one genre that they learn first before they go everything else. What was your first genre?
My first, it had to be hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, at that time, that was my only real genre of music that I kind of listened to.
Okay.
Hip hop and obviously hip hop and dancehall. Let's stay in like that realm. And it was fun just going back and forth between the two. Most of the parties that I was going to, that's what they basically wanted to hear.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of the club music, but for me, it was mainly like just hip hop, whatever was hot on the radio at the time, like in, you know, the early to mid 2000s.
That's like when Hot 97 was like on fire.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I think Power 105 had just came around at that time. You know, say living out east. Yeah. You know, you get the Connecticut station, so you were hearing those DJs too. So
93.7.
You already know exactly. So, you know, it was it was basically like a learning experience. Yeah. You know, for me, but I literally stuck to what I was, you know, the music that I knew, the music that I just mainly listened to. And started to pick it up pretty good. All right. Quick.
So then, okay, so you were doing it for about a year, just messing around and whatnot. I got your first gig. So when did you like start taking it professionally? Like when was like the first professional gig? Not like, you know, oh, here's a couple of dollars. I'm talking about like, listen, this is how much I'm getting paid. This is the overtime. You better tip me. Like, you know.
It was, so I really don't know. I would say like, you know, after a year, I think my first actual paying gig was a Sweet 16. My cousin was like one of her good friends.
All right.
She was like, yeah, you know, and they would come to a lot of the parties that we were having. She wanted her sister's Sweet 16, and she wanted me to be the DJ.
So like, not to cut you off or nothing like that, but like, so now this is a different animal because when you're just messing around, you're just playing tracks, you're having fun.
Exactly.
A Sweet 16 is not like a wedding, but it's very structured.
Yeah.
So how did you deal with, you know, the intros, the, you know, the candle ceremony? See?
Listen, it was, let me tell you, if I can go back and redo it, I would. Listen, I never, and like I said, I'm used to just doing like backyard parties. I probably did like, you know, 10 between, you know, the time that I did my first actual paying gig. And I pretty much, I know I bombed it. Like, I don't really remember it. You know, all I knew was they was like, all right, you know, you got to introduce her. I'm like, introduce who? Like, you know, ain't she here? Tell her to come. And like, I didn't know that you had to do introductions. I didn't know, you know, about, you know, any candle ceremonies. Like, I don't even know if they did that the first one. They might have or they might not. But I had no idea what I was doing.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what it becomes like a business.
Mm-hmm.
And I think unless someone lets you know beforehand, I think every DJ goes through that.
Yeah.
They have to have that first bomb.
Yeah, and you know what it was? It wasn't like I said, it was like I knew the family kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
And, you know, there were a lot of other people there that I knew as well. So, like, I was a little bit comfortable, but I was nervous as fuck. Like, I literally was sweating the entire time. And, you know, once it came to just, like, mixing and playing the music, I did all right. But all of the formalities, no, dude, I was lost, completely lost. And, you know, I made it through it, but, you know, looking back now, it's like, just like anything in life.
You want to like smack yourself back.
But I didn't know, you know.
No,
so
that's the truth.
At that time, no one ever, you know, a lot of DJs that do a lot of like, you know, events like that, you know, any, you know, special events like that. Most of the DJs, especially DJ companies, they're not just gonna have somebody come in. Oh, you know how to DJ? Go ahead and do this.
No, that'd be an event suicide. Like not to say it like that, but yeah.
And like I said, for me, I wasn't like an established company in my eyes. I just was doing it more for fun. And they was like, "Oh yeah, you want to DJ? We'll pay you." And I'm like,
"All right." In your mind, you figure like, "All right, I'm gonna rock it out, have fun," and you don't understand that what's going into it.
Exactly.
So like, how long before? Because you bombed that one. It's done.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So what was the next one? Like, I need to prepare.
I would say in my mind, I bombed it. Like, I didn't feel like the music was fine, but like in my mind, like they all had a good time. But in my mind, especially looking back on it now, because I didn't know what I probably bombed it more because I just wasn't confident.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because like you figure when you're going out to have fun with it, you're just doing everything.
Right.
With you not feeling confident, you feel like your game was off a little bit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, it was definitely it was off. Like I said, I didn't have the same flow that I would normally have if I was in my house or in the backyard party around friends and, just a normal party with no structure. So, yeah, I feel like I wasn't comfortable because, now I'm DJing and it's not just my friends. I got grandma and grandpa right over there. So it was like certain styles of music and, blends that I would do.
Well, here's
kind of got nervous.
Here's the other thing, too. At the same time, now all of us are grown DJs, and then to the younger DJs out there, you got to know your dirty and clean music. You know what I'm saying? And back then, I don't think you had any clean music unless it was already.
So listen, like I said, as I'm starting off, I actually had a decent amount of music before I even started DJing. Like I actually had probably, I think there was one point, and you're talking like early 2000s. I'm talking about 2002, 3-ish. I think I had like 1,500 songs, which is nothing now, but I had 1,500 songs on my computer.
Okay.
And I'm like, wow, but it was all, hip hop and dance hall, reggae, and R&B and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mostly the stuff that I would listen to like in my car, because I would just basically go on Napster and LimeWire and just rip all of these songs off and just make CDs for like me and my friends.
That.
Yeah, you remember that? And I would just make CDs and I would always have music. If a new record came out, like you can get it literally like the same day, which was dope. But I didn't have any clean music. I didn't have any, music that really catered to different genres besides like myself.
So then, like you said, you're DJing and whatnot, and basically you said, hip hop number one. I don't call dancehall number two, but it goes hand in hand. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So
what happened when you get hit with someone that says, "Yo, can you play house?" Like at what point do you start discovering other genres?
Yeah. So I would say the genre that I discovered more outside of what I was just used to.
Yeah.
It was, I would say, top 40. And this is back when they had the Now CDs, Now 1 through 30 or whatever it was. I don't know.
It's like 80 something now.
More
than that.
But what would end up happening was like I started getting parties and I knew I just couldn't play one genre of music. So I'm like, you know what? I guess the top 40 would be the safest bet. So I would just get those CDs and I would just listen to the music and I would start playing at some of these parties and I'm like, oh, all right, so this person likes this, that person likes that. And then it started building like more like my it's definitely a love for music because I knew I loved music. I more if anything loved my style of music. But then listening to just other styles of music that I wouldn't normally listen to, I'm like I started to develop like a love for all styles of music and just seeing people happy once you're playing something that they like and what they're used to.
It's crazy you say that because me and you've DJed many a times.
Yeah.
And when we used to do a lot of those boat parties and whatnot, right?
Oh yeah.
And then I was like focused on doing just nothing but like dance hall and reggae.
Yeah.
Ask me right now.
I think there was one point where you claimed yourself to be the reggae king of Long Island. I remember that. Because
I'm not gonna knock that.
And this is years later. Like you said, by that time, like I definitely had more of an understanding that there's just not one style of music, especially in Long Island. Like I said, if you're hired for just a certain style of an event where they only want house music,
then that's what you're doing.
Then that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I think in your case, it was you probably had every brand new, I think I even said it was like, you might have the brand new Adonia record. And this is like when Adonia wasn't even like mainstream, like he kind of is. I would say, like you had the brand new rhythms that like just dropped,
like today.
Yeah, literally, it was on DJ Kenny's mixtape, and you already had it.
But you know why though? Because this is my philosophy going back in the day, and I'm talking back in the day in the early '90s, even late '80s.
Right.
The DJ always played the new stuff.
Exactly.
Like you didn't know what it was. It didn't matter because the DJ had it.
Yeah.
And this is what drives me insane now with people. I don't like that song. Like 2 weeks later, that's my song. Like, don't jump on the bandwagon now. You had your shot.
No, that's a fact.
But ask me now. Ask me now what genre I like the most.
The genre that you like the most. Do you want me to ask? Or you want me to guess?
Guess.
I'm gonna guess. It's got to be Afro house.
It's like Moonboy, because it's like my Major Lazer.
Yeah.
But it's that blend.
That Afro
you know
tech
what I'm
house,
saying? And it's crazy because I legit went on a war against house, if you remember that. Like I was going hard. And now look out, I'm like, what's the new house track? Like,
Yeah.
But it's the reason why I say that is because, like you said, you understand, different genres. You understand music. You understand BPMs, and you're just something that you would even. I'm looking at the camera right now and saying that 140 BPM and 70 BPM is basically the same BPM, but you wouldn't know that looking at it.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't know it, and it's like I said, it's for me.
Yeah.
I know, like I said, I coming up, I only had one style that I liked.
Yeah.
But then over the years and years and years of just having to do not just those styles of parties, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to just turn it down. Like, I kind of want to progress in this.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, going to certain clubs out here, we couldn't just play nothing but hip hop and reggae. Not at most of the Long Island clubs that we were going to. We had to be able to mix it up.
You know what's so crazy about that too? Like, how many times have you gone to a club just to listen to the music? Legit study it. It has nothing to do with what a club is. Like I did it many times where I would go get like a VIP, sit down and just listen. And like that to me is peaceful.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. I appreciated that earlier on.
Yeah.
Because being a DJ, that's something that actually you can kind of grow off of. Like just hearing music, especially when you're going to clubs that don't just play one style of music. That's when, the fact of you being like open format and open minded.
Yeah.
That's when it really started to click for me. When I was like, just like you said, you got a song that's 140 BPM and 70 BPM. Yeah, they're the same BPM in maybe different keys and stuff, but you can have a song that's 140 BPM house and 70 BPM R&B.
That'd be completely off.
But you can still manipulate it certain ways where it's like I said, it's just not just one style of music. It's just like you're blending so many different styles and genres together. Kind of like when I was DJing before, like I didn't have like a format, and I knew that. Like I said, for the most part, a lot of times when I'm DJing, unless I'm just sticking to a specific script for the actual client, I like being all over the place. I like hearing different music that I haven't heard in a while. I had hearing different genres and. Just this way, like you get a taste of like everything, like
Yeah. No, I agree, man. Like it's satisfying after a while.
Yeah.
And it's almost to a point where you're no longer a DJ. You're almost a musician.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like you, the way that you listen to music is definitely different than what regular people listen to music.
Yeah.
Like certain people could listen to one track and move forward. I can't do that. No. I got to listen to a whole mix. I have to because otherwise I'm bored. Like I get bored very quickly.
Yeah, no, it's even once I really, really started just focusing and listening to music a lot and really digging into like every time I would go to any type of club or any type of event, I listened to music different than the regular person coming to do it. And I knew that after about 2 or 3 years, I really started noticing. I'm like, man, I'm going to these clubs. And before I would just be out there partying and dancing.
How many times you be out with your lady and whatnot, and you'll hear a transition or like I know it's coming, and you just like I'm sorry. Like,
it's
you can't help it.
It's I feel like it's like a disease that comes with like the culture, and like and I can go out and I can probably stand around more than I will dance because like a lot of times like I'm listening to the mixes, the transitions, and if it's good, like then like that's what makes me kind of go like, all right, yeah, I'm feeling this.
Like especially if you hear mixes like I didn't even think of that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying, and then it makes you
exactly. But like if a DJ messes up on a mix and everything, like I hear it
like that.
Quick.
Yeah,
like before I probably had no idea that he messed. I'm like, what? No, the music's still on, so I'm assuming he's doing a good job. And but yeah, it's like it's different now. Like going out, it's hard to just sit there and enjoy sometimes because, like, you as a DJ, you start to critique. You a lot of times like you're perfectionist. Like,
so crazy. Was this summer? Yeah. So last summer, I went to Miami.
Okay.
And me and my lady, shout out to Mike, shout out to my lady,
Okay.
I'll say Mary. There you go.
Oh, what to say? Something about Mary.
So, so I forgot what club it was
Mhm.
because we went like 3 different clubs over down there. But there was this one club, and when I tell you, I was like singing every song, and it was just the environment was so much different than back here at home.
Right.
You know, it was just same songs, but I don't know. I don't know if it was the club. I don't know if it was just listening to someone. You know, almost like fresh ears, because after a while you hear for so long, you kind of know everyone's style.
Yep.
You go to another state, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can legit go to the city and still feel the same way.
That is 100% true. You know, it's kind of like, you know, they say you're like a product of your environment.
Yeah.
And, you know, whatever you're around is what you're feeding off of.
Yeah.
But like you said, you can go out of state, and DJs in different states are DJing probably sometimes the same songs, but they're just different because that's their environment.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to actually hear that, because you get to pick that up.
Yeah.
And then it basically just opens your mind, like, you know what? I didn't even think about that song, and like I can incorporate that in my style of DJing.
Mm-hmm.
And it always just keeps you advancing and, you know, changing your style of DJing, where you don't sound the same. You don't sound like the next guy that's going on before or after you.
Yeah.
You have like your own lane on, like your own sound in a sense.
So what do you have, you know, growing up and whatnot,
Mhm.
getting to the game, what influences you have? You know, what other DJs that you, I don't want to say look up to, but almost just like, okay, I like that style.
I would say, like I said, I used to listen to Hot 97 basically every day going to and from work.
Yeah.
And during my lunch break, especially when I was taking my lunch like around noon, I would listen to Hot 97, and DJ Mrs. C would be on doing the old school at noon.
Yeah.
And the reason why I liked it is because, one, it was not the same music. Like, you know, how many times I listen to the radio and the same song comes on 3 or 4 times in an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But then he would go on sometimes for 30 minutes or an hour, depending on the day, and he would play stuff that I haven't heard in a while. So, like, it kind of kept me interested. And then I felt like every time he DJ'd, he did something creative.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I didn't feel like he was just playing music. I felt like he was entertaining.
Yeah.
In a sense. So a lot of the stuff that he would do, I would kind of like go home and try and do the same thing and just pick up like styles of creatism.
Yeah.
And so like he was definitely like more of like an influence, you know, for me as far as learning how to do. Most of the Hot 97 DJs. Yeah, a lot of them, but him for sure, because he never, like, for the most part, when he was on, especially every day, he wasn't always playing the same stuff that you would hear, you know, between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock or 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock. He was always playing something different, so that kind of kept me more attentive.
No, I remember that too, because that was like the old school at noon.
Yeah.
I used to listen to that religiously.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know, Shazam was Shazam, you know, because
Yeah.
honestly, no, for really speaking, unless you really know the track with the old school at noon,
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, you don't know that track.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
telling you, like you need to study.
I mean, you're talking about before Shazam?
Mhm.
Yeah, this is before Shazam, that you can't just, you know, put a phone up and
No,
it'll tell you what it
that's
was.
what I'm saying. Yeah,
I literally would, you know, listen to the lyrics of the song and literally like write it down. Like either on my phone, I had like a notepad. I would write down
yeah.
the lyrics of the hook, and then I would get home and I would Google those lyrics just to find that actual song. And I'm like, boom, I got it.
And you know what sucked about that too back then is you might find it, but may not be a clear version. So then you're on the hunt, and it's just like
it was definitely, there was many sleepless nights on like finding certain, like a lot of times I would just record it. Like I would just get my recorder out and record it. I'm like, all right, and I would get home and I would have about 5 or 6 recordings of songs. And I'm like, all right, this is the lyrics that he said. I write it down, put it on the Google, and try and find it. And yeah, you know, definitely made it a lot easier. It was like, all right, there it is.
Yeah, you called me out for that one night. I was laughing. I still remember
Yeah.
that. I still remember being in the booth like, and this dude over here, like, damn, Mo.
Yeah. He's over there sneaking, you know. Listen, I don't know what it is, but like, I feel like every DJ that plays like certain records that, you know, that most DJs don't have.
Yeah.
Like, there's always a DJ or two that are in a corner and they got their phone like under their armpit and hitting the Shazam button. Listen, I've done it. I've definitely done it. And like, man, like I can't go up in the DJ. Like, oh,
I remember
what was the name of that song you played?
I remember Click the Co-Sider. he used to black out his screen.
Yeah.
I remember that. I was like, how'd you do? And he still to this day won't tell me.
Shout out to Click, by the way.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a minute.
I see him he works Saturday nights over at Repeal.
Yeah.
Friday nights he do Saturdays. But Click used to do that where as soon as he would load the track, the track name would disappear. And I'm like, come on, bro.
How you do that? I thought we were boys.
I'm like,
Nah, he had his stuff.
Yeah.
But I can't knock the art. I understand.
Yeah.
I do. Because especially back then, people were just like, I'm gonna get you're not sounding like me.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is, and like I said, I knew that. I was like, you know what? I don't want to sound like anyone else, but I do appreciate something different.
Yeah.
So like, I could take something different from you, take something different from him, take something different from her, and then I could put it together and just like literally shuffle it up and then just make it work, and where now I sound different and just using something from every piece of life. Like I said, not just, New York DJs or Long Island DJs, but all over the country, honestly.
Yeah.
All over the world, to be honest. So.
Nah, man, it's not. So I ain't gonna hold you up all day, man. But I do want you to I want to say thank you to you.
Man,
like not even just coming on the show today, just in general, because when I was coming up, and I still got the picture. I cannot remember the damn thing. Remember my turntable? The little one back in 50-yard line?
The 50-yard line.
Where you had to put the remote on.
Literally, that thing was like you had to. It was like a DVD player / controller. I don't know what you want to call it, but that thing was it was pretty embarrassing. But you used to have to put it on top of my mixer because you couldn't even. I think it was Virtual DJ that.
It was Virtual DJ.
But it was like the first one, and everybody else had Serato, and you just had this thing. But I was like, listen, you know what? You want to DJ?
No, and that's why I thank you, because you had every right to go get out. I wouldn't have been mad. But and then I remember when I finally did learn Serato. Shout out to Pledge. I legit locked myself in the room. I had the SL1. I was like, I gotta learn, and I can never go back. I legit, there's no way. I don't even want to look at another.
No,
but,
like I said, but like I said, to that point, I don't think I ever turned any DJ away, because I know what it's like to be the DJ that doesn't know anybody, that came up. Like, I didn't have DJ friends coming up. Like, I literally just started messing around and just being around the actual culture. And I know what it's like, because, I wanted to DJ too. I wanted to show my talent. So when it came to you, bro, come on now. Like I said, I wasn't going to say no to you, because I knew you can't get worse. You can only get better. And, I'm proud of you, man. Like, I thank you for having me on at the end of the day, too.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. Like, once I created this, I was like, yo, I got to, look out for the people that looked out for me. And I was like, because honestly, the whole show is for the DJ community. Yeah. I know this is episode 1 and whatnot, but once we get down to 20, 30, 40 shows, you're going to see, like, how people are just going to be able to communicate, to talk. And it's going to be, this is going to be something really good.
This is great, especially for the DJs, because, like I said, I think the DJs are the most important part of music in any genre.
And they don't get enough love.
And we don't get enough love. So, putting this together, I'm telling you, it's going to grow. Everybody's going to gravitate to it. And you got big things coming, bro. I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Give your socials. Well, give your social. I'm not even going to that.
I don't know what you was about to say, but DJ Mofire, DJ Mofire at IG. Yeah, I'm only on IG. I'm not doing
that's why I said your social. That's why.
No, that's what I say. I just keep it to that. So once again, DJ Mofire on IG. You can follow me. See what I'm doing every single weekend. I'm always doing something. And man, I appreciate you taking me along this journey, man.
Of course, man. Once we get more guests, I want to have you back on. Like, I got to give you a redo on that. I definitely do.
Yeah, no, like I said, we got started a little late.
But
technical difficulties.
That's what happens on day one.
Listen, that's the life of a DJ, man. You got to do stuff on the fly. So, listen, I'll definitely come back down, man. I appreciate you.
Man. Let's be out. Let's out. Peace.